What's up, guys? Welcome to gwhisky. My name is Jeff. This is a channel where I offer my thoughts and opinions on a specific whiskey, and if you stick around to the end, I'll be giving it a score as well. That sounds interesting. Hit subscribe down below. With that out of the way, let's jump into our review. Today, we're looking at a Bunnahabhain Feis Ile bottling. I've got the 2022 release, the Abhainn Araig. Stick around. Alright, so we got a Bunnahabhain today. This is a brand that traditionally I've done very well with. I'm a big Bunna fan. This is one of their newer releases. This is the Abhainn Araig. Now, this was brought out for Bunnahabhain Day, which is part of the Feis Ile festivities. Feis Ile, for those of you who don't know, is an annual gathering where whiskey lovers and peatheads from all over the world converge on Islay to celebrate whiskey and make new friends, and usually buy some overpriced special releases. Alright, I'll admit that was a cheap shot. I don't want to start this video off on a cynical note, but it's not true. Anyway, this is one of 3 new releases for Feis Ile, or I guess for Bunnahabhain Day. We also have Calvados finish, and we have, I never know how to say that word, Tokaj, sweet wine, George Takei. We have a George Takei finish, and I won't be covering those. If you want to check out reviews of those, head over to a channel called Whiskey Lock. Great channel. He's covered all 3, so check out his reviews. As for the one we're looking at today, this one was matured in bourbon casks, Oloroso casks, and PX octaves. It is no age stated, and reception of this one so far has been, I think, pretty good. Maybe sometimes lukewarm, but it seems most people agree that the whiskey inside the bottle is decent. Now, here in Taiwan, we basically never get Feis Ile releases, at least not in shops. You know, people do order them in from the UK. Some Taiwanese even make the pilgrimage over to Islay and bring back some bottles. But generally speaking, these are not bottles that are easy to find here. So you can imagine my surprise when this stuff started popping up on my local store shelves. Now, I don't know why it made it to Taiwan. You know, maybe they made a lot of this stuff this year. Maybe it has something to do with COVID. Regardless of the why, I'm glad to have it. I do hope that continues moving forward and it's not a fluke. I would like to try more Feis Ile bottlings moving forward. This is the first one that I've got to try from Bunna, which, as I said earlier, is a brand that I absolutely love. So let's jump into this. Let's see how the whiskey is. And in the meantime, if you can kindly leave a like down below, that'd be greatly appreciated. For our specs, we've got a nice healthy 50.8% ABV here. It's going to be non-chill filtered, and our color is natural, as always from Bunna. Almost always. I do like our bottle presentation here. I think the label feels very craft. It feels old school. It's different enough from the regular line. Very simple color scheme. We have black, white, and grays, but our release is in like a shiny blue here. I do like that. It does feel special. It feels limited. Definitely that's what they were going for. Presentation is 4 out of 5. We do have non-chill filtered and natural color on the front. We have the cask breakdown on the back, as well as some tasting notes. Beyond that, not too much noise, not too much fluff. Simple, straightforward bottle with some decent info. I can't complain. I did add some water. Let's try our nose. That's nice. Yeah, it's definitely sherry forward. We have like raisins and sultanas and dates and honey, but the sherry isn't too like heavy or overbearing. It's kept relatively bright and clean. We've also got orange oil, we've got some fruitcake, some sea salt, some licorice. There is some youth in here, but in the best kind of way. It gives it a nice sort of like zesty vibrancy. It's a good nose. Let's try our palate. Oh, that's nice. Very mouth coating, nice oiliness to it. I'm getting juicy, you know, sultanas and figs and dates all drizzled in honey. Cadbury fruit and nut chocolate. Some black pepper in here. Bit of mustiness, oak spice, and some general red fruits. Again, really nice balance between the sherry influence and the spirit. And now our finish. Getting nuttier. It's actually a very nutty whiskey. That's probably the dumbest joke I've ever done on this channel. There's a beautiful malty note in here. There's some musty oak. There's some lingering pepper. It's basically a continuation of the palate. Medium finish. Alright, so this is good stuff. It's got a nice balance of flavor. It's got the Bunna character. I don't have any problem with the whiskey itself. It's good. I mentioned in the tasting notes that I don't know how old this is. I would like to know. But the youth in this whiskey actually works for it. It's vibrant, it's alive. I don't think this whiskey needs to be older than it is. But again, like I said, if it's 8 years old, I'd love to know that. But I guess if you give too young of an age statement, that would make it harder to justify the price. And that's something we'll get to soon. Believe you me. Believe you me. Believe you me. Believe you. I don't really, but yeah, the vibrancy in here works. It's got a beautiful maltiness to it, and the sherry, as I mentioned earlier, it's forward, but it doesn't dominate the whiskey. Now, interestingly, I tried this one next to the 12, which is one that I like, not as much as I used to. Don't trust my old score on that one, but it's a good whiskey, and this one was easily the better whiskey. It was the winner. The 12 had more of like a blanket of sherry over it. The sherry overwhelmed a lot more of the base spirit in the regular 12. Meanwhile, I think this one does strike a better balance. I like the raisiny, sultana, date notes in this. Again, the malty notes, that vibrancy. It is a sweet whiskey, but it's not too sweet, and that always is a risk when you're dealing with PX casks. Overall, this whiskey works. So, is it a standout whiskey? I think it would be if it was part of the regular core range offerings. It's delicious, but it doesn't taste that premium. If it were just a regular core range, no age stated whiskey, this would be one of the better ones. Or, let's face it, it would be the best one. Like I said, it beats out the 12. But I don't know that it's got the kind of fire or excitement that I was hoping for my first Bunna Feis Ile. Maybe that's on me. Now, don't get me wrong, this whiskey is not a disappointment. I legitimately like it. I'm going to enjoy this bottle, and I'm going to give it a decent score. This whiskey is an 88 for me. I think it's fantastic. But that's just judging the whiskey itself. Problem is, no conversation, no review of this whiskey is complete without touching on value. Yeah, so I'm definitely not going to recommend this based on value. I think this whiskey is entirely too expensive. Honestly, I feel a little bit ripped off. This sells for about 95 pounds in the UK, which is over 110 US. And here in Taiwan, I paid even more than that. I ended up paying 107 pounds or about 125 US for this bottle. And now, to give that a little bit of perspective from my point of view, here in Taiwan, single malts are really cheap. The regular Bunna 12 costs about 26 pounds or $31 US. And I know that's cheap. We're very lucky. But really, if you do the math there, that means I could buy the equivalent of 4 Bunnahabhain 12s for one bottle of this. So that's basically, it's a 400% markup. Just no. I mean, yeah, it is better than the 12, but I think we can calm down a little bit. And the sad thing is, I do like this whiskey, and I really do like Bunna. I think they're a top-notch distillery. I go way back with them. But they put out a special release here in Taiwan last year that just didn't really click with me. It wasn't chill filtered, but it was like cool filtered or something like that. It was 40%. It was incredibly young and hot, and it was just a low effort whiskey. And I did a video on that. You can check it out up there. It sparked a little bit of a controversy, but I still forgave them. And here we are a year later. I'm pissed at them again, albeit for different reasons. This time they sold me a genuinely delicious whiskey at a ridiculous markup. And, you know, I don't want to be that guy, but this is the reason people get cynical about whiskey. You know, stuff like limited editions, special releases, they're all just schemes. And I'll happily get sucked in if the price is okay. But this is not a 107-pound whiskey. It's not a 95-pound whiskey. So don't buy this. And again, I don't want to be the guy who's cynical and rants, but I'm feeling a little bit cynical and ranty right now. 107 pounds. Get out of here. Like, this is one of those whiskeys, you really want to enjoy it because it's good, but you can't because of the price. You can't disassociate the price from the whiskey itself and simply relax and enjoy it. And the thing is, this was even a bottle split for me, which definitely lessens the blow, and I'm still pissed at it. It's very good, but it's not premium. I'm pretty sure they could fit this into the core range at half the price, less than half the price. They'd still make money off of it because it's legitimately good, and they wouldn't have to piss off people like me who don't just want good whiskey. We want good value. And the thing is, Bunna is usually a pretty good value proposition, at least in the world of single malts. The 12 is a really good deal. I still do like it. And to their credit, they did put out a little sample pack, which is what Whiskey Lock reviewed over on his channel. And I would say that if you have the urge to try this year's Bunna Feis Ile offerings, go for the sample pack. Definitely don't risk it on extremely overpriced bottles, full bottles. Now, will I forgive Bunnahabhain again? Probably. Like I said, we go way back. I do like their stuff, but they're doing some things these days that I just don't love. So I'm ranting about it. Rant over. Here's a picture of the bottle. Alright, that's it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to help support the channel, please consider becoming a patron. Otherwise, you can like, comment, and subscribe. That is always appreciated. Have you tried this year's Feis Ile release from Bunna? Any of them? What were your thoughts? How did you feel about the value? Let me know down below in the comments. Also, down in the comments, you can let me know what you want to see me review next. I'll keep it in mind for my upcoming videos. Bye, guys.